Today we have a bittersweet video because my partner here on the bike channel, Alex, is moving on to his next career. And I want to make this video so we can talk a little bit about where you're going, what you're planning to do, and how you guys will still be seeing him every now and then on the channel.
Yeah, so we'll talk a little bit about where I'm going to go and what I'm going to be up to closer to the end of this video, at the start of it. I just want to kind of go through some of my favorite moments we've made over the past couple of years on this channel, go through some of the coolest things, the most fun things we've done, and just say a little bit of a goodbye. I'm definitely sad to leave. It's been an epic 5 or 6 years here. So
yeah, and going back even much further than we've had the motorcycle channel, because both of us work also on the automotive side of things here at TFL. So you've been doing that for even longer than this channel's been around.
Yep.
But yeah, through this channel being around, we've had some really cool experiences, some that were both of us and some that were specific trips that you went on. So we want to talk about the 5 coolest things that you've gotten to do with bikes since being here.
Yeah, for sure. So let's start off, and these are in no order at all, but number 5, I got to put the Yamaha R7 press launch that I went on. This was at Atlanta Motorsports Park, just outside of Atlanta. It was just a fun trip. It's on this list, one, because it was our first ever TFL bike press trip that either of us did.
Or one of the first. Was it the very first?
I think it was the first. Maybe there was one before it.
It was definitely early on.
Yeah, it was early on, and it kind of made us feel good that, like, oh, we're getting noticed and some manufacturers are starting to work with us. So that was really exciting. It was also just a track day. I love being on the racetrack. You all know that. And I love Yamaha's cross-plane engines. So that as a whole trip was just pretty epic. One of those days where you kind of pinch yourself and you think, am I really working right now? But yeah, it was just a fun day.
Yeah, and it was a cool trip for you. I was a little jealous because I'm from that neck of the woods. Atlanta Motorsports Park is about 20 minutes from my childhood home. And actually, my cousin works there at the track. So it was pretty cool that you got to go. You're definitely more the track rider, the sport bike guy, so it made sense.
Yeah,
for you to be on
that's
that
kind of
trip.
why I went on it. But it was a beautiful area, and just an epic bike, epic track, and one I'll definitely remember for a long time, considering it was one of the first.
Yeah. Next up on the list, you have something that we did that was pretty special with a good friend of ours.
Yeah, so this was a Trail 70 series that we did that you, me, and Andy were all involved in. And I gotta say, Andy's one of the best things that has come out of this channel as a whole. Roman and I were doing an ATV review a long time ago, like right when the bike channel was starting up, and we were at one of the tracks we use here, IMI Motorsports Park. I was filming. It was the Hawk DLX, actually.
Yeah.
That's what we were filming. Yeah. So
Yeah,
I was cameraman. Roman was riding it, and a guy came riding up on his dirt bike, and he was like, "Are you the TFL guys?" And we're like, "Yeah." And he gave us his business card, and that turned into a great friend of ours, who is Andy Smith, who I'm sure you see comment on all the videos, and we've done a ton of videos with him. So
Yeah.
Andy, it's been epic, and I'll be seeing you tons still after this, but Andy's one of the best things that's come out of this, and gotta mention the build series we did with him on one of the coolest Trail 70s I've ever seen.
And this was a really cool build series because what Andy did is he took this Trail 70 from just a basic frame and motor, a bike that was completely disassembled, and he did a full restoration on it, which is really cool. And the whole series was a charity auction. And Scott, our partner over at Rider Justice, which is a great organization, if you ever need legal representation, either on 2 wheels or 4, team over at Rider Justice is awesome. They're not just in this as a business. It's something that they're genuinely really passionate about, and Scott especially. And Scott wanted us to do this charity series for an organization called Biker Down that helps a lot of motorcycle riders who need that help. So it's a really good organization. So that's what this bike was put together for. And seeing the process of that CT70 come to life in Andy's garage, and then getting to do some of the break-in miles. And then a viewer named Evan got that as his first motorcycle, which is an awesome bike to get into riding on. It was amazing how many people came up to us with that CT70 and said, That is so cool. I remember these from my childhood.
Yeah, it's exactly like you said. It's crazy how many people owned those back in the day. It's like everyone you talk to that has been around motorcycles for a while has some sort of experience with a Trail 70 at some point. And I'm sure you guys can all relate to that. So yeah, it was cool to see the whole process come together. Kind of relatable too, because sometimes, like you're doing a Land Rover build right now and you're trying to get your CB up to speed and things that are like above my head. But a restoration on this sort of scale is like, oh, I could do that at some point. It's not so crazy where, you need tons and tons and tons of knowledge and expertise. You could realistically do something like that in your garage, which for me was really cool. I'm not an expert mechanic. I'm, not nearly as good as with a wrench as Andy or even you. So yeah, getting to see that whole process was just really cool.
And they are just really cool bikes, so much so that I actually bought another CT70 frame from Andy that he had kicking around. And hopefully this winter, that's going to be a fun little project for some days after work for he and I to do a very similar kind of build on that CT70 I bought, which is a 4-speed instead of the 3-speed auto. And we're going to put that together in a very similar fashion as that gold CT70 that he put together, which was a really
I'm
cool
excited
bike.
to see that one. It's going to be sweet.
Now, another trip that you did a little more recently, which was also up there for you, was that Ninja 500.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, the Ninja 500, I mean, you're going to see this as a theme throughout this, is I love small displacement bikes because I feel like I can really ride them. So anytime I get on something that's a little down on power, but still has that sporty riding position and still is a bike that likes to be pushed, I have a lot of fun. And this was just a great trip. I love the Ninja bikes, and this was a big deal. It was replacing the Ninja 400, which was a legendary bike.
Yeah.
So big deal to get on the new Ninja 500. And then just where we were riding, unfortunately, in what's kind of, a danger zone right now. It's where all the fires are in California. But we started in Malibu, rode up the PCH, and through a bunch of the mountains up there. And I just love riding in that part of the country, that part of California. I've gotten to ride there a couple times now. And riding up and down the PCH on a Ninja 500, there's not much you can complain about. So that was a good bike, good roads, good people, just good experience all around.
Now, next up on our list, and this is another trip that you and I both did as a team, we went to Moab with 2 Honda mini motos. So we had the company-owned Honda Monkey that we still have, and we had the Trail 125, which was a press loan bike from Honda that they lent to us to film with. And we took both of those out to Moab, and we did, I believe, Hurrah Pass.
Yeah.
And that was really cool.
Yeah, being in Moab is just awesome. If you haven't been to Moab before, totally recommend it. Everyone here at TFL just loves to get out there. It feels like such a good vacation, and for us, it's close. It's easy to get to. Neither of us are expert dirt riders, so being there on something where you weren't stressed out about you weren't stressed out about the bike, and you were just focused on taking in all the good views and having fun. That was one of those times where we were rolling cameras, filming a video, but it really just felt like we were hanging out, having fun, doing what, we might be doing on a weekend. So that was a fun trip. And, I don't think we camped on that one. We've camped a bunch in Moab, but it's always fun being in Moab.
And it was just a beautiful location. Hurrah Pass is stunning. And it was a lot of fun because by the time we got up to the top, there were a few other people there on adventure bikes, dirt bikes, in Jeeps. And when they saw us come rolling up to the top of the hill on a Monkey and a Trail 125, it definitely got some reactions, which is always kind of fun to see. And I think it just speaks to how cool it was for us to ride those bikes up there, because it definitely felt like we were doing something a little out of the box, a little different, and that just made it all the more entertaining. It wasn't necessarily the thing you would expect to see a mini moto doing, and that just made it even better.
Yeah, and anytime you can do that in Moab, it's always fun. Like we did that on the mini bikes in Moab. This wasn't on the bike channel, but one of my favorite videos we did together was when we took Stubby to Moab and we ran, what was it, Fins and Things?
Did Fins and Things in a stock single cab four-wheel drive, but a work truck, so really low to the ground. We tore off the plastic air dam under the bumper and tweaked the bumper.
Yeah, we did a little bit of damage, and there was one part in that video where we like pulled over on the side of the trail, and like 4 Wranglers came past us. They were all on like 35s or 37s with lockers, I'm sure. And yeah, it's fun being there in something that normally wouldn't make it on the trail. Even the guy at the gate letting us into the trailhead was like,
he said, do you know where you're going? You probably don't want to take that in there.
Yeah. So yeah, anytime you can go to Moab with something that doesn't really belong there, you're going to have a good time.
Absolutely.
All right. Next up on the list. This was also somewhat recent. This was, I guess, in early 2024. I went to Italy with Aprilia for the RS 457 launch, which again, like the Ninja 500, all new bike. So that's always exciting to be on, the launch of a brand new model, small displacement track bike. And I was in Modena, Italy for that. And really what made that so cool was getting to share the track with Maverick Viñales. I'm a big MotoGP guy, and that was just an experience I'll remember for a long time. He made me look so slow and like I didn't know what I was doing at all, which I don't.
By comparison, very few people on the face of this earth do.
Yeah, but that was just really sweet. And being in Italy, which a lot of people say is like the home of racing, felt really cool. And also one thing that was like a funny takeaway from that is we were in the middle of nowhere, and that track, it was like a pretty new track, but it wasn't a super well-known famous track or anything. And it was just perfect. Like the asphalt was perfect. The facilities were beautiful. The garages were amazing. And that's their like hole in the wall track in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, compared to some of the hole in the wall tracks we have out here.
Yeah, so that was just cool to experience. And part of that trip was getting to go to like the house where Enzo Ferrari grew up and where a lot of Ferrari was started in the early formative years. So yeah, just some cool history on that trip, and being in that town was pretty cool.
It's also a cool trip for you because the bike that you use on the track is an RS 660, so you're definitely an Aprilia enthusiast, a fan.
Yeah, exactly. And this trip actually was not long after I bought that RS 660. So yeah, that was definitely up there on the list.
Now, finally, we want to do a little bonus, and this bonus feature is probably for both of us one of the coolest, if not the coolest, shoots we've ever been on, which is saying something because at this job, we're really lucky. We get to do some unbelievably cool stuff in our day-to-day. And this trip was really interesting because we were in Moab, and as part of our trip to Moab this particular time around, we had talked to some people who worked with a company called Kuberg that makes these electric bikes, almost a little bit like Suron type electric bikes, but they make them in a bunch of different sizes and a bunch of different styles. So we knew that we were there to ride some electric bikes, but that's about all that we knew. And when we showed up, the reality of this shoot was a lot more exciting than I think we were expecting.
Yeah, for sure. So we got like an address for this place, and we're starting to pull in, and we're driving down dirt roads to get there. There's all kinds of like no trespassing signs, and it was legitimately hard to find. Like we did not think we were in the right place.
Very remote.
Yeah. We finally like figured out where we were, and we got pulled in there, and it's this huge compound with like buildings built into the side of the rock formations in the mountain. And there's a runway there, and then we round the corner, and there's an airplane sitting there, and they're like, so we were thinking, instead of just reviewing the bike, what if we raced the bike against the airplane? And we're like, okay, that sounds amazing.
And obviously an airplane is faster than a motorcycle, but if nothing else, just a cool visual and a cool thing that we can do. And funny enough, this video, as cool as it was and as unique as it was, it really didn't get tons of views.
No,
Not a lot of people watch it, but it is a really interesting video. So we did exactly that. We rode on the runway as that plane was cruising right alongside us.
Super sweet visual. He was the one riding. I was filming it. So I'm sure that was just an insane feeling, having like the wind push back at you and all of it. And then afterwards, we did a little sightseeing in the plane, got to see Moab a little bit. And we've been to Moab a million times. And this time we got to see it from an angle that we hadn't seen it before. So that was really cool and just something that, I never thought we would do like a plane. We do a lot of drag races. Never thought we would do a plane versus bike drag race.
Yeah, and the fact that at the end of filming, they offered, hey, do you want to go up in the plane? And so, getting to fly with those guys, and like you said, seeing Moab from up above in a more casual context than doing like a guided helicopter tour, for example, which you can do a Moab, and I haven't done. I'm sure that's also a ton of fun. This one was cool because this plane was pretty neat, and it was just kind of unexpected and a really good time. And it made for, I think, a fun video that sadly not that many people watch.
Go watch that video because it's
if you're
pretty
interested.
Good. Yeah, the cool thing is, like, I was just, before we started rolling this video, trying to come up with this list of the coolest things, the most fun things, the most memorable things we've done. And there's a lot of them. It was hard to make this list, which is why working here has been, I've been so fortunate to work here because it's fun. Like, we get to do some really cool stuff. And I mean, I'm gonna miss some of the things we've gotten to do together, and some of the motorcycles we've gotten to throw a leg over. Yeah. And on the car side of things too. Like, it's fun, and I'm gonna miss it here.
Do you have a single favorite car event you went on?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Because we've done a lot more car events than bike events.
That's a really good question. I gotta say, when we went to California together and drove the ID Buzz for the first time.
That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I got to drive it more recently on a press trip, but knowing that we were like the first people in the country to drive that car and the amount of looks we got in that thing, that was really cool. Man, I've done so many of them. It's like, it's really hard to remember all the car trips because my mind like remembers the motorcycle ones because I'm more of a bike guy. Honestly, like, some of the most fun off-roading stuff have been not press trips, but
trips that we've
done. Like, going to, if you haven't watched the Trailhound series that me, Andre, and David did, that's up there for one of my favorites. Anytime we go to Moab, like, some really great videos out of that. The Land Rover Defender, when that came out, and we compared that to the 4Runner and the Wrangler. It was the Gladiator. That was one of my favorites too. So there's most of the off-road ones pretty fun, but I don't know that I have like a top
number one.
They're all fun.
Yeah, it's hard to narrow that down because like you said, there's a lot of really cool trips that we get to go on. So we've been very lucky at this job to get to do what we do. And on that note, it's worth talking a little bit about what some of your plans are moving forward.
Yeah, for sure. So I'm a YouTube guy. Like, a lot of you probably don't know this, but I have been doing YouTube videos for over 16 years now. And I'm 28 years old right now. So it's been most of my life that I've been making YouTube videos. Started on my personal channel, which is now titled Lighty, and I did tech videos for a long time before I came here to TFL. So I'm not going to be leaving YouTube because YouTube's basically all I know at this point. And I think I'm kind of good at it. So I'm going to keep doing YouTube videos and hopefully start like a production company at some point where I'm going to try and get into like advertising and more corporate style videos. But in the meantime, I kind of picked up golf, and I've been really into golf. So if you're a golfer and you want to watch some golf videos, check out Embers Golf, because that's where I'm going to be doing some content over there. Probably a little more behind the scenes than on camera, but if you want to see my work, that's where you should go, is Embers Golf. And then I haven't uploaded to my personal YouTube channel, Lighty, in 5 years or something, but I'm hopefully going to start putting some stuff on there. Either, I don't know what it's going to be about yet, but maybe about motorcycles at some point, probably some video related stuff and how I edit and just some like production type stuff. So I don't know. We'll see where that goes, but I am not going to be leaving YouTube, that's for sure.
And also, he's not going to escape completely this channel because he and I are buddies outside of work. We're also neighbors. You live like 5 or 6 houses down from me on the same street.
Yep.
So anytime he buys a new motorcycle,
which is often,
whether you like it or not, I'm going to come running in through the front door with a camera in your face.
Yeah, or I'll come in here because, one of the best parts of working here has been all the people I work with, and I don't want to say goodbye to all these guys for good. So I'm sure I'll see a lot of you because we're neighbors and we've got a lot of mutual friends, but I'll be back with my motorcycles. And been talking to Roman even about possibly doing some videos here and there on the channel when certain opportunities come up. So I'm sure you'll still be seeing me around.
Yeah, so don't worry. You shouldn't be stuck with me 100% of the time. Yeah, I think Alex will still be around. But if nothing else, yeah, we've had a lot of fun with this bike channel over the years. Still got a lot of fun stuff that's coming up. You know, we're going to keep making videos about bikes. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, and I want to thank all you guys too, because honestly, you guys are what makes this so exciting. I'm sure you can relate to this. You work on a video, you're so excited about it. You do all your research, get all your notes together. You know, you review the bike, you ride the bike, you edit the whole thing, you upload it. You're super proud of it, and then as soon as it goes live, you start looking at comments and seeing how people are reacting to it. So that's been one of the most fun parts for me, is reading through everything you guys have to say. And you know, a lot of you guys leave some really awesome comments on some videos that really means a lot to me, and I'm sure to you too. Yeah. So I want to thank you guys for that.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of support for your Eagles, huh?
Yeah, go Birds, baby.
Yeah, so that's all for this video. Appreciate you guys tuning in. You know, this is kind of a more personal video. We usually don't make these videos a lot about ourselves, but this is a particular occasion. It's a slightly different occasion, and so we wanted to make something personal to both address the fact that that Alex isn't going to be as consistently on our videos anymore, and to thank you for all the time and energy that you've put into this channel, and just to talk about some of the fun that we've had both on camera and behind the scenes a little bit.
There you go. Let us know if you have like a moment from our channel that you really loved that we missed. And I'm talking like it's going away. I'm just going away a little bit, but yeah. Again, thanks for watching, and hopefully I'll be seeing you guys in not too long.